Okay guys, I'm back. Got another video for you. Today we're going to be working on moving our character around with some buttons. Now, the last video we added buttons to move our character up and down, left and right, and you guys even had some scaling buttons and some rotation buttons. I didn't put those on here, but I do have my WASD buttons here, and we're going to make these buttons work by pressing them on the keyboard. So this is going to be a little bit of a refresher on how you can do keys and make your character move and do things like that. As an added bonus, we're going to make it where when you press a button on the keyboard, you can actually see the button getting pressed on the screen. I decided I wanted to add that, so we're going to do that. Over here on my left hand side, I've got I added just a node to hold some buttons for me. So all of my buttons appear inside of this node, up, down, left, and right. Here's the script that I have for everything attached to it. So I've just added the buttons, move up, down, left, and right. I've connected when they're pressed, and here are the functions right here. Alright, now I want to make it where if I press the key on the keyboard, it actually moves the character instead of me just pressing the button. So the first thing I'm going to need to do that is I need to add these buttons to be recognized by Godot so that I can actually press them. Basically just giving them a name saying that they are a certain action. So come up in the top left and go to Project Settings, and then at the top you're going to select on Input Map right here. Now yours is probably filled up with a bunch of these. These are the default buttons that you'll have. I'm going to add some of my own buttons, actions I guess. Now you could call your action like just up or down or whatever. I'm going to say key_W. Alright, so that adds the key. Now I'm going to want to select the key. I'm going to go ahead and use this regular key here. We'll talk about physical keys later. So I'll press W. And now that adds the W key to the options of buttons that I can press. Alright, so let's do another one. I'll do key, I guess S. And then I'll press the S key. And now I'll do another one. Key A. And then I'll do one more. Key D. Alright. Oops. Okay, so I guess I'll look at that one more time for you. So there's my 4 buttons, WSAD or WASD. Okay, so I've got the buttons. Now, or I've made an action for each one of those. I've declared that these buttons are here to work and I need to use them. Alright, let's go back to our script for our character, and we need to figure out when these buttons are actually getting pressed. So we're going to use a built-in Godot function for that. Now you'll notice that these functions here, these are all ones that I created. When a function is created by Godot, meaning like it's already a built-in function that they've made for you to utilize, it starts with an underscore. All of these right here, these functions are all ones that Godot has created that are native, that they're already there. The one that we're going to use is the input event. Alright, let's check and see how this function works. So if I do print and then event like this, when you run this, you'll see that every time Godot picks up an action, it tells you what that action is, and it's logging it as an event. If I move my mouse to the right, it's seeing that I'm doing something with my mouse. If I push a key on my keyboard, you'll see that it's registering key presses. If I click the mouse, right click, use the scroll wheel, all of those things are picked up as an event. Okay, so anytime something happens, I want the game to check to see if I am doing something. So I can say if input dot is action just pressed, if that is the W key, then I want you to move my character upwards. Okay, so let's make some comments for this. This says, did the player press the W key? And if they did, I want to use this function, the move up function. Play the move up function. Alright, let's try that and let's see what that does. Now when I'm pressing W, you'll see that my character moves up the screen. Perfect. Alright, let's add some sensation or some type of something so the person can see that they're actually pressing the button. Because right now when I push it, you see the character move, but there's no press over here. You just move up. I want to know that I'm pressing that button. Alright, a good way to do that is if you come over here and click on the up button, and if you'll scroll down and go to visibility, you have this modulate. I'm going to use this. I was playing around with the pressing and it worked too, but I didn't like how it looked. It didn't look that great. So I'm going to just make sure I can change. I'm going to change the color of the button. So under visibility and modulate, I want you to select a color that you like. I'm just going to go with a reddish color. So there's the color that I want to use. Alright, now after you select this color, in the bottom right there's this little pound sign. I want you to click that, and you'll notice that the hexadecimal code over here is changing, and it looks like it's turning into this like color code. That color code is what I need. So I'm going to highlight all that, and I'm going to hold Control, and I'm going to press C. Then I'm going to go back to my code over here. And anytime the button is pressed, I want to change the color of that button. So I'm going to say self.modulate. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to say self.modulate. I want to modulate the color of the button. So I'm pushing the up button. So I need to say move underscore up button dot modulate, and I want it to be equal to, and then I'll paste in that color. Cool. Now what that should do is when I press the button, not only is it going to move my character up, that's what the self is, it's going to also change the color of the button that I press. So move up button, we're going to turn it to a red. So, oh, I know why it's already red. If your button was already red when you pressed play, go back and look at your button and you left it on that color. So undo that. So there we go, I undid that color. Alright, so there's the button, and I press it, now it turns red. It's staying red, which is not that helpful. So let's see if we can make it where the color goes back. Now if you remember, I had showed you that whenever you do print event, it picks up all of those events. It knows when you press buttons, it also knows when you release buttons. So let's say if input.isAction, and then you'll see other things. There's just pressed, there's just released, and there's action pressed. Let's give this just released on the W key, and in the event that the W key is released, maybe we want to change the color back to a normal color. Let's see if we can do that. So I just copied this line right here, and if you want to put it back to the normal color, it should just be 1, 1, 1, 1. So this is normal color, and this is that red color I chose. Now we'll see how this works. We might have to do some other stuff, but let's see what this looks like. There we go. When I press the button, it turns red. When I let go, it turns back to the normal color. Perfect. All right, let's see if we can do the same for these other buttons here. So I can say if input dot is action just pressed, if they are pressing the down button, which is the S button, S key, then we want to do the down button pressed. And when the down button is pressed, let's change the color. And then if the input dot is action released of the S key, then we want to put it back to the normal color. Let's see if that works. Oh, I got the two of the same buttons. Let's see why that is. Oh, right here this says up button. I'm changing the color of both of them. I don't want the down button to be the up button. I want the down button to be the down button. Alright, so let's try it again. And it's sticking on this color. Why is it sticking on that color? Because I used the up button there too. So make sure you're switching to the down button. Alright, let's see. Up, down, and you can do the same with the left and the right buttons. Alright, so let me do that. Copy these. Instead of the S key, we want to do the A. Oops. The A. Oops. Man, I'm clumsy. A, and then we have D. And then instead of down, we have right. Instead of down, we have right. And instead of down, we have left. Alright, now any button I press, it comes up on the keyboard as being pressed. Very neat. I like how that looks. Very awesome. And my character moves when those buttons are pressed. I don't know, something satisfying about pressing the buttons and watching my character move. Alright, that's it for this video. There's probably lots of better ways to do it than this, but we were just trying to work on adding a button. I will see you guys in the next video. Have a great day.